Hi friends, hello. Welcome to Crack UPSC CSC with India's largest online learning platform, that is Unacademy. This is Kiran N. Shetty, faculty for Political Science, Public Administration, Polity and Issues in Governance. Today we are going to discuss the comparison of the constitutional system of India with that of other countries, part 2. In our previous session we discussed part 1. In this session, we will discuss the remaining salient features of US Constitution. Then we will compare Indian constitutional system with that of America. You will get from Unacademy. From Unacademy, you will be getting daily live classes, live test quizzes, structured courses, unlimited access to videos on UPSC prelims and mains. You can prepare with top educators of Unacademy such as Mrunal Patel, Tarun Goel, Roman Saini, etc. You will be getting material on UPSC CSC subjects like polity, economy, history, ethics. You can subscribe 12 months. It will be 44,000. But if you use my promo code, that is capital KIRAN, you will get 10% discount. 39,600. You will get 12 months subscription. But if you go for 24-month subscription, it will be beneficial for you because it's at 64,000. And in that also, if you use my promo code, that is capital KIRAN, you will be getting 10% discount, 57,600. Unacademy has recently come up with new subscription, that is iconic subscription, in which you will be getting personalized mentorship, personalized feedback, daily question and answers on mains, prelims, structured schedule, unlimited practice, test series, etc. For 6 months, 2 months, 12 months, 24 months, the subscription is available. 10 months, 12 months subscription is 57,600 after the discount. 24 months subscription, it will be 89,100. In this also, you will be getting 10% discount if you use my promo code, that is capital KIRAN. Friends, we need to remember very important thing, that even written constitutions like in US, an element of evolution, an element of growth of the constitution is involved. That means the work, in addition to the original constitution that has been enacted by Constituent Assembly, constitution will be evolved and developed through various mechanisms such as the amendments to the constitution, political conventions, the laws made by the Congress, judicial pronouncements, etc. Constitution will be developed and evolved in addition to the written part of the Constitution that came to force at the time of enactment of the Constitution. So in this class, we will discuss what are those means by which the Constitution of US has been developed. We will consider amendments. One of the important amendments in US Constitution is 13th Amendment Act, which abolished slavery in US. 13th Amendment Act abolished slavery in USA. 19th Amendment Act, which was effected in 1920, granted suffrage to women. That means it granted voting rights to women. See, the greatness of our constitution, which granted voting rights to women on the day it came into force. But in so-called developed democracies such as US, England, New Zealand, even Switzerland is considered to be one of the most sophisticated democracies in the world, have granted suffrage, that is voting right, to women after many years have been elapsed since the enactment of their constitution. In 1920, somewhere around after 135 years, the voting right was given to women in US. Constitution of US came into force in 1789. The voting rights were given to women in 1920. In England, it was given in 1918. In Switzerland, it was given in 1971. Then comes 22nd Amendment Act. 22nd Amendment Act prescribed the time limit for president tenure. It put this particular amendment has put cap on the tenure of the president. It cannot be more than 10 years. That means no president of US can contest more than 2 times. An individual can contest to the post of president in a row or in total 2 times. From George Washington on times, it was political convention that the president of US used to be in the office at the most for 2 terms. After that, invariably, they used to step down from presidentialship out of political convention. But it was Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, who contested for the presidential post for third time, fourth time. Then after President Roosevelt, this particular amendment act was effected to prescribe cap on presidential election, the tenure of presidential election. Then, Fifth and 14th Amendment Acts introduced concept of due process of law. Fifth and 14th Amendment Acts introduced the concept of due process of law. When we discussed judicial review in the context of salient features of Indian Constitution and in the context of the salient features of US Constitution, the judicial review system in the world functions either on these two principles: procedure established by law or due process of law. Judicial review means the authority of the judiciary to examine the laws made by the legislature and the decisions taken by the executive. That is judicial review. And judicial review functions either on these two principles. When judicial review functions on the basis of procedure established by law, the judiciary can check only the procedure that has been mentioned in the law has been followed or not. But when judicial review process functions on the basis of process of law, the judiciary can check not only the procedure, the purpose behind the law, or suitability of the law. The purpose behind the law or suitability of the law. That means when judicial review functions on the basis of due process of law, the judiciary can struck down any law made by the legislature or any decision taken by the executive saying that that particular law or that particular decision is not in the larger interest of the society. It is not in the larger benefit of the nation. It does not suit. It is draconian. On these grounds, that particular law or that particular decision can be struck down. That means when judicial review functions on the basis of due process of law, the judiciary will have legislative prudence also. It can check the legislative wisdom or legislative prudence behind the law made by the legislature. Yes. The judiciary gets enormous and tremendous powers when judicial review functions on the basis of due process of law, because the judiciary under due process of law can also check the legislative wisdom behind the law made by the legislature, the wisdom behind the executive decision. Hence, it can struck down almost all the laws and decision taken by the legislature and the executive respectively. That's why in US they say that US Constitution is what the Supreme Court of US makes it. US Constitution is what the Supreme Court of US makes it. Process of law also means absence of arbitrary powers, absence of arbitrary punishment. In medieval times, inhuman punishments used to be meted out on people, cutting off head, cutting off hands, legs, burning alive. Such kind of gruesome punishments used to be meted out on individuals. And these punishments also used to be meted out at the discretion, at the whims and fancies of the king or queen or a feudal lord. But due process of law connotes absence of such kind of arbitrary punishment, bodily and materially. No individual will be punished except for breach of law and except the procedure mentioned in the law. That is due process of law. Then 15th Amendment Act is also very important. 15th Amendment Act bestowed the Supreme Court with to have judicial review on the laws made by state legislatures. The Supreme Court of US can also struck down the laws made by state legislatures. We may be having doubt. US Constitution is pure federation, in pure federal form of government, whether the Supreme Court has the authority to examine the laws made by state legislatures. So this 15th Amendment Act bestowed such judicial review powers on US Supreme Court to examine the laws made by state legislatures. Then 26th Amendment Act allowed all the citizens above 18 years for voting. It allowed all the citizens above 18 years to vote. Now we will discuss how the laws made by US Congress resulted in the development of US Constitution. The laws made by US Congress determined the method of election of members of Congress. The laws made by US Congress determined method of election of members of Congress. Then the laws made by US Congress determine organization of administrative departments, like what we call in India ministries, creation of new ministries, abolition of existing ministries, amalgamating, tubbing existing ministries can be done by the laws made by US. Yes, these things can be done by laws made by US Congress. But whereas in India, the new ministry can be created, existing ministry can be abolished, and existing ministries, two or more ministries can be clubbed together just by an executive order. We Here we do not require the law made by parliament in this context. Executive by executive action, new ministries can be created, existing ministry can be abolished, and existing two or more existing ministries can be amalgamated. Then the laws made by US Congress determine legislative procedure. The laws made by US Congress determine legislative procedure. Judicial pronouncement. How judicial pronouncements resulted in the growth of US Constitution. Under the doctrine of implied powers, US Supreme Court enhanced jurisdiction of the federal government in US under the doctrine of implied powers, because of which the authority of the federal government extended to interstate commerce, railways, airways, banking, insurance, etc. This is how the Supreme Court extended the jurisdiction of federal government. In US Constitution, powers and functions of federal government are defined by the Constitution. The rest of the powers have been given to the states. That means residuary powers have been given to the states, and the powers and functions of central government have been clearly defined in the Constitution. Like in India, where residuary powers have been given to union government. Yes. Under this doctrine of implied powers, the Supreme Court of US extended the jurisdiction of federal government in US. Then under the doctrine of police powers, the rigidity in the enforcement of fundamental rights reduced under the doctrine of police powers. In US, fundamental rights cannot be suspended even during emergency. Fundamental rights cannot be amended by the Congress. They can only be amended through amendment procedure of the Constitution, which is very, very difficult process. But Congress on its own does not have the authority to amend or abridge or delete the fundamental rights. Unlike in India, where Parliament of India can amend, abridge or delete any fundamental right. The way right to property was deleted by 44th Amendment Act. Because of this aspect in US Constitution, it is they found it is very rigid in the enforcement of fundamental rights. Hence, the Supreme Court gave this leverage to the administration in enforcement of fundamental rights under the doctrine of police. Then, the original constitution was silent about whether a state can secede on its own from the main union. The word federation has been mentioned in US Constitution. No. So federation, it means all the constituent states came together on their own and they can secede from the main union on their own. But US Constitution was silent whether a state can secede from the main union. In fact, you will be wondered to know, immediately after the US Constitution came into existence, came into force, many southern states in US, they revolted and they waged civil war and they wanted to secede from the main union. Then the statesmen like Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, they involved and they solved the problem. Consequently, in 1869, Supreme Court of US gave the judgment that no state can secede from the main union on its own. No state can secede from the main union on its own. This is how, friends, the judicial pronouncements in US Constitution have resulted in the development and evolution of Constitution of US. Then conventions. Now we will discuss how political conventions in US Constitution resulted in the evolution and development of US Constitution. First, election of president, originally it was indirect. By political convention, it became direct. What do we mean to say political convention? When we discussed salient features of Indian Constitution, we discussed the meaning of political convention. Political conventions are unwritten political practices. Unwritten political practices which are backed by tradition and custom, which are supported by tradition and custom. These cannot be enforced through court of law. They are backed by tradition and custom. They are unwritten political principles. They are customary behavior of constitutional principles. So these are backed by tradition and custom. These are unwritten political principles. Then president's cabinet originated from political convention. You might be hearing the president's cabinet, secretary of state. There they call minister as secretary. Secretary of what you say foreign affairs, secretary of defense, secretary of what you say home. So this cabinet of US president is not mentioned in US Constitution. It originated from political convention. It originated from political convention. Originated from political convention. Then the candidate for the election to the House of Representatives should belong to the constituency which he seeks to represent is based on convention. That means any candidate who wants to contest to a seat in House of Representative, he should be an elector from that particular constituency which he seeks to represent. For instance, if I want to contest as MP from Delhi to Lok Sabha, I should be a voter from Delhi constituency. Delhi South, South Delhi, North Delhi, Central Delhi, like that. No? So whichever constituency I want to represent from that constituency, I must be a voter. This practice has been there for the election of members of House of Representatives. Practice also has been originated from political convention. Then Bill of Rights, very, very, very important aspect in US Constitution. Bill of Rights introduced fundamental rights in US Constitution. The original Constitution of US did not contain fundamental rights. Fundamental rights have been incorporated in US Constitution through the first 10 Amendment Acts. Through the first 10 Amendment Acts. And these First 10 amendment acts have been effected in 1791. These fundamental rights have been incorporated by Bill of Rights. What do you mean to say fundamental right? We discussed, when we discussed salient features of Indian Constitution. Friends, I always caution you, salient features of Indian Constitution is the most important topic in entire polity syllabus. Fortunately, this particular topic is taught mundanely and mechanically. Aspirants also take it very light. They take this chapter very light and they do not concentrate on it, concentrate on the concepts that have been mentioned in this particular important chapter, that is salient features of Indian Constitution, in which we will be studying the basic concepts of polity and political science, which will be very, very useful to understand our own constitution and constitutions of other countries. Hence, I request you to again go through my lesson on salient features of Indian Constitution. Fundamental rights, often we may commit this blunder. Fundamental rights mean the rights which are basic to the existence of human being, basic rights, natural rights. Yes, of course, they are. These answers are true, but technically, politically, constitutionally, fundamental rights have different connotation altogether. Fundamental rights, always you remember, it means protection not only from the arbitrary action of the executive, but also from the arbitrary action of the legislature. For instance, in Britain, they do not have fundamental rights. Tomorrow, if British government, Council of Ministers headed by British Prime Minister, issues an executive fiat, whoever does not wear helmet, his head will be chopped off. Then immediately people of Britain, they can rise in, what you say, revolt, they can approach court of law, and they can have protection from such kind of draconian executive order. They can have protection from such kind of draconian executive order. But tomorrow, if British Parliament legislates a law saying that whoever does not wear helmet, his head will be chopped off. Nobody can save them. Courts cannot save them because they have protection from the arbitrary and draconian actions of executive, not from the draconian laws that may be legislated by British Parliament, because they do not have fundamental rights. Only when you have fundamental rights, you can have protection from the draconian laws made by the legislature. It is the greatness on the part of US constitutional makers that they have come up with this novel political concept called fundamental rights, because of which we will be having protection not only from the arbitrary action of the executive, but also from the arbitrary action of the legislature. Have they come up with such kind of political concept? Yes, they were subjected to British colonization. It's parliamentary form of government formed in England by 1688 AD. By 1688 AD, full-fledged parliamentary form of government was formed. But US people got freedom after 110 years. That means for about 100 years, they were subjected to British colonization, which was the handiwork of British Parliament, which was handiwork of British Parliament. Hence, this fact bears grand testimony to the fact that the way any monarch or a feudal lord or an aristocracy can be draconian, in the same way, fully elected legislature can also be draconian. They have come up with this novel concept. In India also we have undergone, what you say, indescribable, inhuman atrocities in the hands of parliamentary form of government. Because after Government of India 1858 Act, the authority to administer India was transferred from the Crown to British, sorry, from East India Company to the Crown. Crown was nominal executive. The real executive is the Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. Hence, for all the atrocities that have been meted out on Indians after Government of India 1858 Act, it is British parliamentary form of government which was responsible, not any feudal lord or any monarch. It is clear that any despotic monarch or despotic feudal lord or despotic aristocracy can perpetrate inhuman atrocities. In the same way, duly elected legislature can also perpetrate similar inhuman atrocities. That is philosophy behind fundamental rights. That is the philosophy behind fundamental rights. The fundamental rights in US cannot be amended or removed by US Congress, and they cannot be suspended either during emergency. They cannot be suspended either during emergency. They cannot be suspended either by the executive or by US Congress. They can only be suspended by US Supreme Court during emergency. Then US Constitution is characterized by presidential form of government. US Constitution is characterized by presidential form of government. Presidential form of government is based on the principle of clear separation of powers. Clear separation of powers. That means the legislator will not be performing the executive functions. At the same time, neither the executive will be performing legislative function. Whereas in parliamentary form of government, the executive is part and parcel of the legislature and he will be performing legislative functions also. For instance, former finance minister Arun Jaitley, being the member of Rajya Sabha, he voted on GST bill. He voted on GST bill. At the same time, being finance minister, he enforced GST Act. He used to perform dual functions, executive functions, legislative functions. Both these functions have been clubbed in parliamentary form of government. But in presidential form of government, they have been placed in watertight compartments where the executive will not perform legislative functions, nor the legislator performs executive functions. Then president is elected by an electoral college. This electoral college is specifically formed to elect the president. It consists of as many as members in Senate and as many members in House of Representatives. That means 435 in House of Representatives plus 100. 535 members the President's Electoral College comprises. They are specifically elected for this purpose. Each state will be having as many president electors as it has its members in House of Representatives and Senate. Each state will be having as many presidents electors as it has members in House of Representatives and and the qualifications for the post of the president are: he should be natural born citizen of US. He should be natural born, not naturalized. Naturalized citizen means, for instance, we born in India, we migrate to US, we may reside in US for 15 or 20 years. After that, we may become naturalized citizen. We may become naturalized citizen. But the president must be natural born citizen. That means he should born in US. By birth, he should get US citizenship. And he should be resident of US for 14 years. He should be resident of US for 14 years. Then he, he should be resident of US for 14 years. Then he should be of 35. He should be natural born citizen. He should be resident of US for 14 years. He must be of 35 years. Tenure is maximum of 10 years. Has been prescribed by 22nd Amendment Act. President Cabinet is not responsible to House of Representatives. Very, very important aspect, friends. The President Cabinet is not responsible to the House of Representatives. That means President and his Cabinet need not to have majority in lower house. President and his Cabinet need not to have majority in lower house. Checks and balances. The US Constitution is characterized by checks and balances. What are these checks and balances? The president can veto the bills passed by the Congress. Bills that have been passed duly by the Congress can be vetoed by the president. And if president vetoes any bill, that veto of the president can be overridden with. That veto of the president can be overridden with special majority in both the houses of the Congress. That president veto can be overridden with special majority in both the houses of the Congress. That means the US president has qualified veto. Whenever presidential veto can be overridden with special majority, that veto is called qualified veto. Qualified veto. Then the Congress determines the organization of Supreme Court. The Congress determines organization of Supreme Court. On the other hand, Supreme Court can struck down the laws made by the Congress, saying that they are not according to the provisions of the Constitution under judicial review. Congress determines the organization of Supreme Court. On the other hand, Supreme Court can struck down any law made by US Congress, saying that they are not according to the provisions of the Constitution under judicial review. The important appointments made by US President need to be ratified by the Senate. The important appointments made by US President need to be ratified by Senate. Then the President appoints judges of US Supreme Court. The President appoints judges of US Supreme Court. On the other hand, On the other hand, the US Supreme Court can struck down the decisions taken by US President. This is how the mechanism of checks and balances has been ensured in the Constitution of US. Nevertheless, Supreme Court has more powers compared to the legislative and executive organs of the state in US because the judicial review system in US functions on the basis of due process of law, because of which the Supreme Court of US can check not only the procedure but also the legislative and executive prudence behind the respective. Thank you, friends. In our next class, we will discuss the comparison of fundamental rights system in US and India, the comparison of federal system in India and US, comparison of house of, what do you say, the upper house in US and that of India, and the comparison of judicial review system in India and US. Thank you, friends. See you in the next class with more interesting and more important topic. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Please use my promo code, that is capital KIRAN, and please get 10% discount. And if you want these PPTs, you please subscribe to this Telegram link, post Telegram link. Thanks a lot.